Wendy, I've got to ask you, because from what I just heard from what you were suggesting, that you're expecting a rally at the end of the year. But, you look at things like the latest Bow for Asia Fund Manager Survey, for example. The expectation has absolutely spiked in terms of, the excess savings. Now, I think 84% think that Chinese consumers are going to keep it in their savings account. 57% of those fund managers questioned from 35 last time around think that the equity market's going to retest the October 2022 lows. So when you look at, I suppose, sentiment being negative, you look at international investor sentiment being negative, you look at the macroeconomic data, which suggests negativity, the geopolitical overlay also negative, unless we see some really knock it out of the park stimulus, are we going to see anything substantive in terms of a rally? Because I would argue that, that the regulatory overhang for those Chinese tech stocks, for example, that was what was cited as really depressing the share prices there. But what we got was a little bit of a short squeeze rally, and then they got sold down again.
Yeah. That's a very good point. I think for the internet, we've seen relaxation. So what people are waiting is the confirmation as a next step. Are you going to see the issuance of financial holdco company licenses? I think that would be key. And I think among all the stimulus, the one that's relaxing internet platform regulation, encouraging them to invest, and then also, encouraging the POEs to go after growth. I think that has been the most significant easing we've seen in the months of June. Okay, so that's one thing to bear in mind. And I do think internet will outperform from this point, even though the tape is saying otherwise right now. If we go into the digitization and AI age, companies with big platforms will be able to foot the bill and do the development. They'll give them a huge edge vis-a-vis competition. And we look at the recent data, online sales has outpaced physical retail in the latest data. So that's one. We're positive on the internet overall. Second one, on positioning. Yes.
When we look at
all the positioning data.
Yep. Oh, yeah, no, go on, please.
When we look at the positioning data, the buy side is very underweight. So if you look at the four parts of funds, they're either at 85 or 30% of what they would be owning China on the benchmark. So I think you would have the opportunity for a squeeze toward the end of the year. Why do we say end of the year? When we look at the inventory cycle and business cycle analysis, it shows that the soonest the inventory destocking could complete would be end of September, but by 1Q, it probably will be in place. So I think it's reasonable to anticipate something will happen toward the end of the year. And finally, we see all signs of de-escalation of U.S.-China tension. And I upgraded Taiwan in March because it appeared back then that geopolitical tensions were going to de-escalate cross-strait.